Maximizing your Instagram stories. Currently right now, do you have an Instagram? And if you have an Instagram, are you posting stories? And if you're posting stories, how often are you consistent with your stories? And what type of content are you putting onto your Instagram stories? Out of 100% of users on Instagram, did you know that 70% of users on Instagram are actually viewing your stories, and that you potentially could be able to build a know, like, and trust in your sleep passively without doing any editing, without really lifting much of a finger, by literally just maximizing your Instagram stories? Yes, in today's video, we want to talk just about that, because if you were to maximize your stories and post what you're up to day in and day out, you potentially could relate to your end viewer of your story and potentially earn business. So as we're filming this video, we're doing an IG live to maximize stories. So I basically can do this video right now on YouTube. The team will edit it. Then I will post the live onto our Instagram. And then from it being posted onto the main profile, I can then go ahead and put it onto stories. So this is where stories have had a lot of success in my world. I actually met my wife that now I've been married to since 2019, and I have a 5-year-old daughter with, on Instagram. And she got to know who I was as an individual because of my stories. I met our co-host of our podcast, Mr. Dan Gandy for Real Estate vs. Technology. I met him because of my stories and built a relationship with him. I also have built relationships with different photographers, videographers, and my team, I have 12 on staff here at Liftoff Agent, built a lot of relationships because of Instagram stories. Now, how are you maximizing your Instagram stories? And if you're not posting on Instagram stories now, shame on you! But for real, you really want to make sure that you're posting on stories. It's not too hard to post on stories. And if you need another video on a tutorial on how to do it, you can comment below and say, hey, I need another video, Norm. Give me a video on how to basically maximize stories from the perspective of like how to actually post on them. But let's go on and talk about some best practices and some techniques of doing what you can to maximize your stories. And before we go any further, Norman Lloyd Kinsey III, CEO, co-founder of Liftoff Agent, number one marketing positioning agency. So on stories, the number one thing you could do to maximize them is post them every single day. Post them every single day and bring people into your day in life. What are you up to? Do you go to the gym in the morning? Are you prospecting in the morning? Do you drop your kids off in the morning? What is it that you do first thing in the morning? That's something that you definitely can share with your audience, and potentially your routine could potentially serve someone out there. Now, are you going to an open house event? Right? Are you holding an open house? Are you going to broker's tour? If you're a real estate professional, you could put that on your stories, right? Talk about the open house you're about to go to, or talk about the house that you have and that's about to hit the market if it's a coming soon, or talk about the house if you're holding an open house when you're there, right? The point of stories is for you to tell a story. And if you can tell a story and stay consistent with that process, then you can have so much more success. I on average get anywhere from like 100, 150, sometimes 200 people that watch my stories on my Instagram personally at Mr. Liftoff. And so people can get a different type of day in the life of what you're up to. Because a lot of times when you do fancy, like say reels or fancy photos, you're doing coming soon or just sold or just listed in the real estate space specifically, that's what we focus on, it gets boring. Even if you're a small business owner and you literally just talk about your business all the time, you're not gonna be relatable. So stories are meant for you to relate to the other person and for you to bring someone into your life. And that's the point of stories. So make sure to think about if there's any highs. You buy a new car, you have a new listing, you're having a new baby, you're going on a trip, right? Because stories is great because it doesn't need to be edited. It doesn't need to be polished. It doesn't need to be fancy. And the cool thing about stories that I love is that when you swipe up on the story, you literally can be able to you can see who watches and who's looking at your stuff. The story will last for 24 hours. And so you'll see that a story will start off with 5, 6, 7, 10, 15 views. And by the end of the story at the next day, right before at the 22nd to 23rd hour, you'll see that it'll shoot up. And then you'll be like, oh my God, I just had 50, 60, 70, 100 people watch my stories. And if you're a licensed real estate professional, even a small business owner, and you want to talk about prospecting and you're putting out stories and you're talking about your life and someone can relate to that, and then you give that person a call who you're trying to you're prospecting a buyer, prospecting a seller, and you follow each other on social media and they watch your stories on, say, Facebook and Instagram, and then you give them a call, and then next thing you know, you're talking about what's going on, and you're like, you know, they watch your stuff, and you're like bringing up what went down, and they already saw your stories. That's gonna be a huge win for you, because then they're gonna be like, yeah, you know, Dave, I saw your story, I'm sorry so much for your loss, or yeah, Dave, congratulations on your new car, or yeah, Dave, congratulations on your new baby, whatever the case may be. I love that. Are you posting stories? How are you posting stories? I want you to comment below with a story of your success story. Story of your success story? That kind of goes together. So based off stories that you've posted, comment below with something that's worked out really well with you. I would love to know. And then from there, is this helpful? Do you find yourself being maybe a little bit more inspired or motivated to potentially do stories? I'm also, like I said, still on an IG Live as we're recording this whole entire video. So someone who's watching this IG Live right now is gonna get this whole video before it goes live. Congratulations. Like, subscribe, notification bell, comment below with the success story you've had. New videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And if you want help with this process, we can't help you. We don't do stories. So thanks for joining us. I appreciate you. And I am going to sign off. It's Friday today. The team needs some extra videos. I just formed Film 4. So I'm gonna post this live. I'm gonna get these videos uploaded, and I'm looking at a pool that I'm about to go jump in. So until the next one, God bless. Best of luck with your stories.